I'd like to now introduce Deanna Hewlett, who comes to us to give us an invitation to breath and presence. Deanna Hewlett took her first yoga class in 1990 in a Vakram studio in Key West, Florida, because it was assigned as a college course. She went back because of how spacious her body felt, particularly in Shavasana, and thought it interesting that she felt so alive in the posture translated as corpse pose. She found devotion to the practice when returning to the mat while mourning the death of her parents, who were both luminous and intentional in raising her. Please welcome Deanna Hewlett.
Good morning, beautiful people. So yesterday I was at Providence Hospital St. Vincent's Medical Center, and I was being interviewed by the local Fox News station. And I was being interviewed alongside my neurologist regarding the benefits of yoga and meditation for patients with MS and other autoimmune conditions. I was diagnosed with MS in 2010. It's been a long journey up the road of healing. And during the interview, I was asked about different medications that I was taking. And I revealed that I had been on and off of medications of depression and anxiety due to my illness. And because that wasn't the main focus of the interview, the interviewer asked me if that was something I wanted to keep on camera for the news. And in that blip of a moment, I thought forward, ahead in time to this moment. And I thought of all of your faces, and I thought of the reason that we're here, and I thought of dropping the stigma, and I thought of dropping also the internal and external narratives of what it means to be well and healthy and a full and luminous human being in this life. And so I said, please do not cut it. Please keep that in there. And I hope, I hope it actually makes the news. Please come to standing, everybody. And take a moment to look at each other at the table you're sharing this day with, to look across at the table next to you, to look at all the different faces and eyes and souls and spirits that are here. And breathe so that you're actually arriving to this time on this day that has taken us all the steps in our lives to get to this very moment. Please bring your arms by your sides and then take that gaze inward. Close your eyes for a few moments and feel your feet on the ground. And ask yourself in this quiet kind of glimmer of a moment at the beginning of this day, why am I here? Standing with each other, why am I here? And breathe in all the way. And exhale all the way out. What do you stand for? Yesterday when I sat there being interviewed, I stood for honesty, I stood for courage, for compassion, and for our capacity to be vulnerable. Courage comes with grit, it has to, and vulnerability lives in grace. Please, as you open your eyes, breathe a breath in and reach both arms up towards the ceiling. And take your gaze upward so that you actually get lifted from the ground up. And as you breathe out, bring your hands down to your heart, perhaps offer a little bow of your head. And breathe another breath in. And an exhale. Release your arms by your sides. What can you place in your heart? So standing here in this moment, what can live in your heart today that can unfold out to each other in these present moments, in the conversation, in the dialogue that we are required to have now? It's not just suggested that we begin the conversation. I believe it is a requirement to being here right now. Breathe another breath in. And exhale all the way out. As you breathe in again, open your eyes, take your gaze up towards this beautiful ceiling, reach your arms up, and then soften your eyes closed again as you bring them back down to your heart. And release your hands by your sides again, this last and final round, standing on your own 2 feet, grateful that you can today. Recognize and notice and feel that you are not alone here in your standing. And the breath that you take is an exchange between what lies inside of you and what lies in the other, what lies in the deepest glimmer of yourself, and also what resides in the person next to you and the person next to them. We are breathing, everyone. We are breathing the same air. On your inhale, reach both arms up. Look up, and as you exhale, pull it back to your heart. And bring your thumbs to the very center of your chest and notice your own heartbeat. And notice the language that's there and the language that you want to hold today when you hold these deeper layers of conversation. Breathe another inhale. Release your arms by your sides as you exhale, and please take a seat again. And so I'd like to introduce a breathing practice, a short meditation, and then I'll pass it on to the rest of the beautiful family today. I'm going to do a breathing practice from the yoga tradition called Nadi Shodhana, and it is meant to balance both hemispheres of the brain and also to balance our more courageous and solar side of ourselves with that vulnerable, softer, more lunar side of ourselves. So I'm going to ask you to please take your right hand and bring in your first 2 fingers. So your thumb is out, your 4th finger is out, and the pinky's out, and they kind of like to hang out together, so that's a good thing. Bring your thumb to your right nostril and your 4th finger to your left nostril. So it's very gently. I know you all might have, some beautiful makeup on today, so however you need to do it, but also just recognize that this is a breathing practice, a traditional practice of yoga to soften anxiety. It's been very helpful for me, and to bring us here into this space. So the next time you breathe in, close your eyes, press in with your thumb gently, inhale through your left side. And that cool, lunar, vulnerable side, and then exhale out through your right side. Then breathe in that courageous, solar side of yourself. Inhale, right side. And a slow exhale, left side. And repeat, inhale through your left side. Exhale, right. Inhale, right side. Exhale, left side. Please take one more round on your own, which is 2 breaths. Your feet on the floor, your own internal balance of courage and presence, vulnerability, grit, and grace. And as you breathe out through your left side, release your hand, place it on your lap, and keep your right hand on your lap with your palm facing up, and bring your left hand back to your heartbeat. If your eyes are open, catch another person's eyes for a moment. And remember the other, as then you close your eyes and pull it back into yourself, that deepest core of your being that you are here with today. And let your breath here be a bridge and a balance and exchange and the initiation of that conversation and of that dialogue that wants to be spoken and said. Watch this balance of your inhale and your exhale. Know that everyone else in this space is also watching the balance between what is inside of us, what is the story inside that can be spoken, shared, whispered, yelled on the outside. I'd like to sit here quietly together for 1 more minute. Allow your palm that's facing up be that receptiveness of what's around you. and the hand on the heart, a reminder of everywhere you've been all up until this moment. I'd like to close with some words from David Whyte, one of my dear poets and philosophers that keeps me engaged in life. You're welcome to keep your eyes closed. Courage is a word that tempts us to think outwardly, to run bravely against opposing fire, to do something under besieging circumstance, and perhaps above all, to be seen to do it in public, to show courage, to be celebrated in story, rewarded with medals, given the accolade. But a look at its linguistic origins is to look in a more interior direction and toward its original template, the old Norman French cœur, or heart. Courage is the measure of our heartfelt participation with life, with another, with a community, with a work, with a future. To be courageous is not necessarily to go anywhere or do anything except to make conscious those things we already feel deeply and then to live through the unending vulnerabilities of those consequences. To be courageous is to seat our feelings deeply in the body, and in the world. To live up to and into the necessities of relationships that often already exist. With things we already care deeply about, with a person, with a future, a possibility in society, or with an unknown that begs us on and always has begged us on. To be courageous, to really be courageous, is to stay close to the way we are made. Thank you so much for being here. I'm grateful to have your eyes, your presence. Please bring your hands to your heart again. And may we bow to each other, to our own stories, to listening, to all the listening that is possible here today. And may we rest and see each other in all of that light. Namaste.